All right, gang. Welcome back. Welcome back to another Checo Forex live stream. I hope everybody had a fantastic day. And today was a pretty good day in the markets today. A little choppy, but we were able to make some good profits today on my Signals platform. We had a NAS sell run in there. Took a couple of gold trades as well, and yeah, pretty good day today. All right, gang. So where are we now? Let's see. All right. So we're on the daily time frame. We're on gold. Let's do our markups and let's dive in right away and get ready for candle closures in about 30 minutes or so. So here on the 30-minute time frame, I'm sorry, on the daily time frame, we have this consolidation happening here on on gold, right? So we do have a bit of that resistance there. We got rejected here and here as well. So, we're kind of ranging in this area here, right? And the lows down here would be right down here, right? So we're in this range, right? And even though we came down and made this low, we formed this support here and kind of bounced today. I'm sorry, the last couple of days. And now, we kind of started pulling down, but let's take a look at the previous daily here, right? So we have no top wick. We wick down and then close. We have a hammer candle here, no top wick, but the new daily, right, peaks up, makes a top wick, and now it's starting to pull down. Not sure if it's going to want to grab this wick here. And it's possible that it could come down and try to take out these lows before it reflips, but we would have to take a look and get a better idea of the direction, right? Because this thing could be coming down to make a bottom wick, right, to reflip. So we'll take a look at it off the smaller time frames, right? So let's drop it down to the 4 hour and delete these levels here. And off the 4 hour, looking at the immediate range, right? So we have resistance here and we have the support level right here. So we're kind of in this chop right here, right? So this previous 4 hour has no bottom wick, right? So I feel like, we already took out the highs, so this thing might come down. It might want to come down and retest here, right? So it's possible that we can come down and tap into this level. If we do break this support, we're going to come down and grab all this right here. Maybe take out these lows here before we flip. But if this support level can hold, this thing could be just making a bottom wick here and reflip. A reflip of the 4 hour could take us up further. But right now we have about 30 minutes left on this candle. So I don't know. It looks like it's going to close bearish to me. Well, we'll see. All right. Let's take a look at the 1 hour, right? All right. So on the 1 hour, something a little more interesting I want to look at, right? Um, Let me actually. All right. So we have a trend line here, right? Let me make this a little small, a little thinner. All right. So let's look at it this way off the 1 hour, right? So we have these highs, right? Let me stretch it slightly right there. Okay. So uh in the previous session, right before New York closed, we tapped into that area, came down, and then the next candle closed bearish. Then we gapped up, but look at the that first candle in the session. It closed barely, just slightly below that trend line, and then we have this continuation. So this could be a rejection, right, of this level, and we might want to come down again. Like I said, we might come back down to 3,300 here, but we have this support level here. So a couple of things I'm looking at, right? Look at this support level right there. So we have all the support here, right? So we have a lot of chop. We have this consolidation. Then we pulled up, double top, came down, and we started forming that trend line as we're coming, kind of trending downwards. But we respected that trend line here. If we would have closed above here, I wouldn't say we would have gapped, filled the gap here and then reflip. But now we're coming down. So I think that we might chop in this area here, right? We're gonna start chopping, and this wedge pattern is gonna start getting smaller, and we're either gonna break out to the upside or to the downside, right? So I would expect, unless we get on the smaller time frames, we see some sort of like support starting to form here, and we could come back up and close above this trend line, then we're gonna see that continuation of the upside and probably take out these highs up here. But for now, we respected that trend line here, and now we're coming down, right? So I would say that we were going to come at least to retest this support level here. So sells might be in play very soon in the next half hour. So now that we're coming down here, I would expect maybe a candle or two on the smaller time frame, maybe a 30-minute candle, right? To come up and tap that trend line and then continue down, right? So 15-minute also coming down. We already filled the gap here. So we might trickle down. Might trickle down to that support level there. So yeah, that's kind of like what I'm looking at here. I'll leave it marked up just like that, as a matter of fact. Let me see if there's any. Give me one sec. Yeah, so look at this, right? On the 1 hour, let me look. Let's take it down to the 30-minute. See. All right, so we have this fair value gap right here. So I think we might want to come down, maybe even tap into this one here before we see that push up. But on the 1 hour, it looks a lot nicer here. So we might come into this area here and retest, which is a retest of the support level, right? So we'll tap into this fair value gap. If we don't displace here, then we might get a reversal back up. So for now, we wait, right? Let's leave that there and wait on gold and see if it's gonna make a move to come down. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. All right, let me go into the daily time frame first. All right, Nasdaq daily time. Let me get rid of these indicators. All right, so super bullish, but again, we made an all-time high here, right? We broke above that resistance level there, right? But we haven't come down to retest it here. Now, this is a lot to look at. I think it's highly overextended. There was also some tariff news that kicked in today with the percentages that these countries are going to be charged on these tariffs. So I feel like we're getting ready to roll over here, and I think we're going to come down here. We might bounce off of here, if anything, but I really believe we're going to start trickling down. We got some gaps to fill here, gap to fill here. It's very likely that, we came and grabbed all this liquidity here, made a new high, and now we're going to come down. We're going to make a massive correction here. As far as a fair value gap on the daily time frame, we have one sitting right here, right on that support level right here. So yeah, it's possible we'll tap into this and bounce, right? But I think that we're eventually going to come down to these levels down here. All right, let's take a look at the 4 hour. Get rid of these indicators, right? All right, so let's take a look at the 4 hour. Let me zoom in on these candles here, because off the smaller time frame, we got a better picture. All right, so we have resistance here, right? Oh, damn it. I'm trying to like drag this thing up here. All right, so we already closed below, right? And confirmed. Now we're retesting, and I think that once we retest, we're going to start rolling over here. Now, if this 4 hour candle in the next 24 minutes, comes up, closes bullish, especially taking out the highs, if it definitely decides to push up and close above, taking out the highs, then yeah, we might be coming out to take these highs out. But it looks like we're staying below here, and I feel like Nas might be coming down to this next target here on the 4 hours. So I think we're going to come down the range here, at least to the next support. So yeah, that's about about 300 points now. So yeah, so far it looks like I'm actually bearish on the Nasdaq based on these levels here, right? Already tapped into this FEG, so this FEG has been validated. We tapped and bounced, right? But now, if it rolls over, it respects this level here, we might roll over. All right, let's take a look at all right, off the 1 hour, right? So 1 hour, yeah, levels are the same. You see that support right here, and then we have this support right here that we closed below, tapped in, came down. Now we're pulling back up into it, and again, if this support level can hold here, right there. So yeah, so if we can come in, tap in, but we remain below. We already retested it here and came down, got rejected. Now we're coming back up. If we get rejected here and we get a bearish closure, this thing could start trickling down. Uh, there's not a lot of volume on the Nasdaq during the Asia session, so But I think overnight during London, we're gonna see some volume, and I think this thing is gonna continue to push down. So I'm interested in these sells here. If we remain below, I might look for some sells right around this area, right? That's possible. It is possible. All right. So back to gold. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I might be looking for some moves here. So if this candle now this 1 hour is gonna close bearish, I'll wait for a top wick on the next. Let me look at the 30. Um um yeah, yeah, this thing, yeah, waiting for the 30-minute closure here will be important. But if we get that closure, if we wake up and make a top wick on the flip here, we take out the lows here. I might be interested in the sells here. It already broke back into the range, especially on the 1 hour. See how this candle, it closed below that trend line, so it respected even though it wicked above, and then this one confirmed, made a top wick, and now it's ripping down, took out the previous lows and came down. So let's see if we're gonna get that bearish closure uh off the 1 hour here, and then next candle, what I would expect, just to give you guys a preview, right? Next 1 hour candle, if we get a closure just like this, for example, right? We got this bottom wick, got this top wick. I'll wait for the next 1 hour to give me a some sort of a top wick, maybe about the top of the body or so, right? Give us a pretty decent top wick, and then on the reflip, we could look for entries. If anything, I might even take an impulse trade here, take the impulse entry here after a top wick, but we need a bottom wick on this candle, right? Right now, it doesn't have a bottom wick, so. But yeah, I need a bottom wick here. Next candle gives us a top wick, and I think we'll see some continuation to the downside. So we'll be patient and wait, right? We have about 20 minutes till candles closer. So once it closes, we'll look to execute. All right, gang. If you have any questions, just type it up in the chat, and I'll try to answer them here while we have some time. I'll get to your questions, or if you want me to take a look at a particular chart and analyze it, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do that. Bitcoin. Let me delete this. I had some. Yeah, I had that range marked up. What is it? Yeah, it ran right into it too. That's crazy. But yeah, rejected. We never broke out. Yeah, anything for Bitcoin to run up, and we got to take out the all-time highs, man. We failed. Once we made those highs, we made a nice push up here, but came right back down. But we're kind of ranging here. Now it's kind of curling up and so on. But yeah, man, there's more movement for Bitcoin to come down. Yeah, look at this consolidation. This is off the daily. Look at that. It's just chopped. It's up, it's down, now it's up again, and so on. So it's either take out the highs here, with a nice strong a bullish candle, or if it takes out these lows here, that 100,000 range. Yeah, this thing is coming back down to 76. So yeah, that would be ideal personally. For those who want to get in, I wouldn't mind buying in again. I'm invested in Bitcoin, and I have my money invested from way down here, and I got in. I took a couple of entries in the last few years, but in that 2021, when it had dropped down to, I think it made it to like 15, but I bought in like around, when was it? I bought in at like 17.5. No, it was that major crash from 2021. What year was this? Yeah, 2021, 22. Yeah, right here in November when it started tanking. Yeah. So when it was like in this area, it made it down to about 15, 15.2, but I bought in around 17 something. Yeah, so I've been in for a while, so I've been holding. I had bought earlier. That before that I had bought when it was like when it made that high or like 40 something right here, and we saw some profits on it. Then it crashed. Then it came back up, made a new high here, and that's when we got that massive crash down. But yeah, I bought in around 40. Man, threw some money in there. But when it made this big crash, I was like, yo, this is a good time to buy. So yeah, right around this area right here, this boom, then it just took off. So, but yeah, if we get a crash back to like at least this area right here, I don't know, anywhere between 70, maybe even down here at the bottom of the range at 54. I don't know if it's gonna come that far down, but I think it'll come back down to like 74. Come back down, test these levels, and then continue to new all time high. So anything is possible, gang. Anything is possible. All right. All right. This is what I'm looking at here on gold. Let's wait on it. I'm banking it off this support. If we do get a closure below, it might want to come down and fill this range and come down to 3301, 3300. But let's see how this candle closes here. We got 16 minutes and starting to pull up. I mean, if this thing flips bullish and forms a support here, it could get interesting because we could make another attempt and push up. So this thing could see some more continuation. This could have been the impulsive move right here, right? And this could be just a correction. But normally the correction will come down. What was that fair value gap there? Oh yeah, yeah, we could still come down. I mean, we got, what's that, 33, 33, 28, 26, 25. Yeah, we still got about 50 to 80 pips to move down here. We could catch that move down, and then around the support area here, look for the buys back up. So let's see how it plays out. Yeah, I mean, it would be a big drop to come down and take all these buyers down here, but it's possible. Yeah, we have a fair value gap on the 15 here, right at the trend line here. So, this thing can come up again, tap into it. That's the move I see on the 1 hour. Remember I told you guys, if we're gonna sell down, right? What I would expect is for example, if we get a bearish closure here, I will wait for that top wick, and that top wick could tap into that 15-minute fair value gap here, right? So we probably get like one or two candles come up, tap into that fair value gap, which is right at the resistance level, and I'll be looking to take a sell right in there, boom, and write it back down. Yeah, I use the higher time frames. I like to use the 1 hour. 1 hour is my favorite time frame to use, but I flip flop. I look at the 4 hour for, you know, candle closures and change of trend and things like that. But the 30 minute and the 15 are good to, like the 15 minute, for example. Um, Fair value gaps off the 15 minute are a good tool to have, and you can start seeing like minor support areas here, candles printing here. So we formed a minor support here, close bullish. This could start trickling up, right? And 30 minutes, same thing. It's like, forming this minor support here. But like I said, it's all about how this 1 hour is going to close overall, and see if we're going to get that top wick to retest this area here and then come down. All right, gang, let's wait on it. 12 minutes. 12 minutes to candle closure. All right. I'll be back, gang. I'm waiting for that candle to close here. We're waiting that the timer's right there. You see it? About 12 minutes or so. So hang tight. I'll be right back, gang. All right, gang, I'm back here. Let's see where we're at. 3 minutes to candle closure. All right, looks like we're still in the bearish position here. Let's see what the 30-minute did. Okay, closing bullish here, perhaps. If 30-minute flips and close bearish, that's pretty interesting. 15-minute flipping bearish here. All right, let's see. And the 4 hours closing bearish as well. Yeah, so you see how the 4 hour respected that trend line. Then this one gapped above, but then overall came right back down into range. So respecting that trend line there. So yeah, this previous 4 hour no bottom wick is a massive fair value gap. I think it's gonna come down. I think it will come down and tap into this area here, like right, test this support here, and then bounce up. Remember, the wedge is gonna start getting smaller, and eventually, either to the upside or the downside, we're gonna start chopping into this range here, perhaps, right? Let's see. We got 1 minute, and the 1 hour is still kind of floating around here. 30 minutes forming support, but again, it would be nice if we get the topic come in and retest this, right? So we already broke below, right? And we come up, retest, right? That will put us right into that fair value gap, and then we can take the cells down to the bottom of the range here. All right. All right, 30 seconds. Ooh, 1 hour. Close doji. Rah. Oh shit. Okay. Bearish. All right. All right. So we got a bearish closure here on the 1 hour. All right. So I'll stick to that plan. Let's see if we get a top wick here, right? Look at that. The 1 hour closes, and now we form that fair value, right? So what I would prefer, it could either go both ways, but if we don't get that top wick, it can come up, right? Take out the previous highs, tap into that fair value gap. I'll be willing to take an impulse sell right here. But if we start coming down and take out the lows and tap into this fair value gap here, we can flip up and come and fill the range. I'll look for the buys up, but let's see. We're a lot closer to this level here, so I prefer to take the sells down, but you would have to wait, right? Let's wait for that top wick. A brand new 4 hour as well, so let's be patient, right? We got a brand new 4 hour candle, so close strong bearish. I want to see a top wick here. Yeah, we need a top wick on this 4 hour. Well, top wick here on the 1 hour. So let's give it some time, and we'll get some volume, and we'll be ready to execute, right? There we go. And just wait on it, gang. Ideally, the trade would look something like this. Let me see if I can draw it up here. Oh, oh, oh. Dang it. There we go. Yeah. Stops will probably be. I might use previous candle highs right here. So it'll probably be above this candle right here, the one that long body. I'll probably put my stops right above there, and my TP will be at the bottom of the range. So that's what the trade will somewhat look like once we get activated right here. Let's see. Let's see if we come up and get activated. Yo, Danny, what's going on, brother? Danny, activation price. Also, let me go back to. Yeah, it'll be right around 33, 37.25. Well, I'll say like dot 50. Let me set that up actually. Why is it not? Let me do the settings. Oh, because it's not activated. That's why. That's okay. Yeah, right around there. We just drag it up a little bit. Yeah, right there. Oh, you see, we made a top wick here, but we're starting to come back down. So ideally, that will be the entry I prefer. I want this thing to come up and tap into that fair value gap and then take out the highs here and then flip. But sometimes, this is sometimes it gives us this kind of wick here and then it'll flip. But I'll wait. Yeah, yeah, I'll be ready here to take that sell right here. We're gonna trade this range right down here because once we tap into this fair value gap, this thing might want to reflip back up. But I'm trying to trade that correction down here. Yeah, so I'm still waiting on it. Haven't been activated yet. Yeah, but you see, we made that top wick. We start coming down here and take out the lows, then this thing might continue down. No, I'm not. I'm not in the sell. No, not yet. I just marked that up to so we can see what it would look like if we come up and retap. But looks like we're coming down here. Let's see. All right. Let me delete this. I deleted this now. If we take out these lows, I'm might be looking to take that sell right here. Let's see. What's the break there? That'll be 30. This is looking good to come down. I wanted a steeper wick. Like look at the wick we got. Just didn't make it up here to take out the highs, but we haven't taken out the lows yet. If we start breaking the lows here, I'm gonna take that sell right there. All right, gang, I took a sell right there. All right, I'm gonna keep my stops up here for now. We're just trading the range right here, gang. Coming into it right here. We came down and took out the low. So my stops are gonna be above the previous 1 hour highs right here. Did it open the? Give me 1 second, gang. I just want to see if it opened. I think it opened that sell for me. Just give me 1 sec. All right, yeah, I'm in. You guys can see it there. Yeah, so I'm currently running about 80 bucks in profit here. So we got in right at the break of the lows there. All right, just checking to see if I set it up. All right, so we're in this sell, gang, here now. You know, I took it at the break of the low. Wanted a steeper wick, but once we made the top wick and came down and broke the low, yeah. Once we come down, if we tap into this first fair value gap right here, I'm going break even there. Might even take partials there. How many pips are that? Yeah, that's about 30 pips. That's good. Yeah, it's a 30 pip dip right here. But let's see if we're gonna continue to move down here. All right. Yeah, we took out the lows here once we made a top wick. So I would expect this thing to continue to drive down here. Yeah, I got my stops just above the current 1 hour highs here. Because if we reflip and re-break the highs, you know, yeah, because we still have this fair value gap here. Might want to come up and tap, but yeah, we took out the lows here, so we should expect some more continuation to the downside here. Yeah, I'll keep my stops right here, right above the current 1 hour wick. Right. All in the hands of probability now, right? Gang, the trade was wait for a top wick. Again, I was expecting a steeper wick, right? So I had my sell limit right up here. But this is what we got. And once we started flipping and took out the lows, we took our entry right at the break of the lows there. We got in. So now we write it down. Give it at the 30-minute here. Yeah, 30-minute. You know, we already took out the lows. We came up on the 30-minute, took out the highs here, and we flipped. So that looks even better here than it does on the 1 hour. I'll keep it right there on the 30-minute. I want to see if we can come down to this area here. What's that on the 1 hour? Yeah, right into this fair value gap. Once we tap into this area here, you know, I'll probably take partials there and go break even. Let's see. We're in profit right now, gang. So, but it's a short risk, right? Our stops are tight. They're right up here, right just above the 1 hour. So that's about it's above the 1 hour wick. So yeah, it's about 52 pips stop loss, 53 pips, give or take. Full TP is all the way down here. That's about, it's about 60 pips. Yeah. Yeah, because I wanted to come down into this area here, because I'm expecting to buy it up so we can take the ride down, you know, secure some profits in this area right in the middle here. At least go break even if we can get the push down, and then we'll look forward to looking for a buy position here. There we go. Beautiful push down. Beautiful push down. Here we go. Yeah, we're up about 12 pips. Well, we were. Let's see if it needs some continuation. I want to see a bigger push down here. My stop loss is just above the previous 1 hour wick, so that it was like, it's like 3336.40. Yeah, I'm sorry, above the current, or above, you know, if you go to the 30-minute time frame, it's just above the current 30-minute candle, the one that's currently running. I got it right above there, because if we reflip and take out the current 30 highs, then this thing might continue to flip up. So I rather get stopped out there. Yeah, look at that, it's flipping back up. How's that 5 minute? All right, yeah, let's be patient here. There's a fair value gap just below our stop loss here. This current 5 minute has no bottom wick, so this could be just a push up, and then, you know, this thing probably reflip. Yeah, 15-minute, no bottom wick, so yeah, it's making a little bit of a pullback here. Just keep an eye on it here. We had this support here. Look, this minor support on off the 30 right here, and see how we wicked into it and got rejected up. So let's see. Nasdaq doing here? Oh, Nasdaq is pumping up, gang. We just took out the highs here. What? Look at this 30-minute chart right here. Yo, gang, this thing is looking good right here. I might consider these buys up. Yeah. Yeah, Nasdaq looking to pump up here. Yeah, we got a closure right back above this here. All right, gold's moving back down here, gang. All right. Yeah, that 15-minute. See how that 15-minute made that top wick? It didn't have a bottom wick now. A good indication here after making this top wick here, if we flip and take out these 15-minute lows, we should see the push down. We'll keep an eye on that. We need this 15-minute to come down and re-break these lows here. That would be ideal. We need to see if this 5-minute candle wants to come up and tap into this FEG right here. But we might get this thing to flip back down. And we have this kind of this range and support resistance right here as well. So right here, and then we came down and formed this resistance here, came down, took out the lows. This candle failed to break the lows though, and it's coming up, but we'll see if it wants to take out the highs or not. Let's see if this area would hold right here. Because we have this fair value gap here, so I'm always thinking it's gonna come up, right? Probably want to tap into that level there, but I'm not looking to take much risk tonight. We got 3 minutes of candle closure. So if this 15-minute can come back down and respect that area here, then there's a chance it will continue to move down. But if we close above and take out the highs, this thing might tap us out here. Let's see how it does here, respects this level or not in the next 3 minutes. Oh, 15-minute, a nice push. Didn't take out the previous high though, but pushed nicely up there. Look at that, man. Oof, this thing is pumping. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that much volume here on the Nasdaq for Asia. Yeah, this would have been a move. Look at this. That support now turned resistance. Tested, came down, and now this candle clearly closed above. We got a bottom wick on the break of the highs. We would have been in there. Wasn't looking at it. All right, so 15-minute closed, respecting right this resistance. Now we got a bit of a top wick, not a big top wick, but Let's see if we can get a wick to tap into this area here and then flip and see if we can take out the lows and take this, thing downtown. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out here. Yeah, 30 minute close bearish as well. Yeah, so the 5 minute again, see that purple shaded area? We had that support, broke below it, retested, came down, took out these lows. Now we're coming back, retesting. It missed the fair value gap. It almost wicked into it here, but we're somewhat respecting this area here. So after making a new low here, you know, can remain below here. Hopefully we won't range for too long, but we can start coming down. And once we take out these lows, we'll tap in here, we'll go break even and so on and so forth. But if this thing flips, let's say, even if it takes out the high, but if it doesn't invalidate this FEG, then, I might even, kind of trickle the stop loss up to give it some room if it's, going to come and try to test this fair value gap off the 5 minute. And then, but I won't be moving it too much further. I might give it some room perhaps, but I want to see the reaction here. Yeah, we're currently down, what is that? 28 pips. We're in 28 pips drawdown right now. Mm. I'm looking at this FEG here off the 30 and off the 1 hour. I feel like I want to move my stop loss above this previous 1 hour high here just to, give it the opportunity, right, to tap into that fair value gap, which was the initial plan. Remember, we were talking about if we get the top wick to come up, So yeah, I'm gonna do that now, gang. I'm gonna move my stop loss right up here to 33. What is that? 33, 33.38. Yeah. Let me drag it up here a little bit more. It'll be just above the previous 1 hour right here. Yeah, 33.38. Just edit that so you guys can see it better. Why does it not letting me edit it? I don't know why. Right up here. Yeah. I just put it there just above the previous 1 hour high, the previous one, not the current, the previous 1 hour high right here. Just want to give it room to see how it reacts around this FEG. It might come up, tap into it, and then we could see the rejection now. Yeah, it's pulling up here. Let's see how it reacts right here, right above these wicks here. Our stop loss is just above these 2 wicks here off the 30-minute, and it's just above that 1 hour wick right here. Want to see if it'll tap into it and get pushed back down. Let's see, almost there. It's pulling back down, never tapped into it. We'll see. We'll see. It came close, but starting to kind of pull down, which is good for us. But it would have been good. It taps into that fair value gap there. If it respects that level there, then we can push down. But flips down now, great. How much time? We have 20 minutes on this candle, right? Made this big top wick here, took out the highs here, failed to break these highs. But then if we flip, for example, if we were to flip bearish, right, and it comes back down and takes out its own low, yeah, this thing's gonna fly down. We'll come right into these two areas right here, support, maybe tap these fair value gaps down here. But again, we'll be break even by then anyway. So let's see. Let's stay patient. And again, give me 1 sec. We're still in this trade, but need a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, gang. Let's see. Oh, okay. So yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Look at that. We rejected from that area there, and we're coming right back below this range. What's that? 15 minute. Beautiful. Yeah, we didn't take out the highs though here, but we came down. I'm telling you, we can push now. How much time? We got 8 minutes. We can push and take out these previous 15-minute lows. If we break the 15-minute lows, we could see a push down here. So yes, it's definitely respecting here. 5 minute. It has a top wick, but not much of a top wick there. See. Yeah, let's see how this 15-minute closes. I mean, we get a nice bearish closure here on the 15. That should be good as long as it gives us a bottom wick as well. All right, all right, let's wait on it, gang. Let's see what happens. Hey, look at the Nasdaq. No top wick here. Yeah, this thing might reverse all the way back down here now. Man, this wow, this would be very nice here. Nasdaq, man. I feel like let's see how we close here, man. I mean, damn, highly interested in the move here. It's respecting here though. It's kind of bouncing off here, but we can get a push down and close below here. Yeah, we can really come down this whole range here. Nasdaq is looking interesting. All right, back to gold here. Let's see what we're looking like here. 3 minutes. See how this 15 minutes is gonna close here. Yeah, it came down, took out the previous lows right here, though. It did take out the lows and pull right back up. No bottom wick on that on the NAS here. Terrible. That was a nice engulfing candle right here. Strong bearish closure on the 15. 30 minutes still kind of bouncing, but there's 2 minutes left. Let's see if it's gonna try to push down here. How's that 1 hour looking? Yeah, 1 hour took out the highs and flipped here. It's looking good. I mean, if this 1 hour can close bearish here, Nasdaq might be wanting to come down here. We're gonna get candle closures here in a little over a minute here. Yeah, we're kind of just consolidating here, just ranging here, but we're respecting this level here, which is good, right? Yeah, we're respecting that resistance here, right in that purple shaded box here. Let's see. All right. Got bullish closure here. It was doji on the 15. Got that 30-minute closing bullish here. Yeah, that fair value gap is still intact right there, so might still want to come up. Once it was push up and take out these highs here and tap into that and then flip, that would be good too. Let's see, we need a top wick here though. We're gonna flip. I don't want it to come down and take out the lows and then reflip. I didn't break the lows here either. Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on this fair value gap here. If we are going to come up, take out the highs, we'll tap into that, right? And then we should get pushed back down here. But if it displaces here and it, you know, kind of invalidates this, you know, we'll be taken out, and then we gonna expect this to come up, retest, and then continue to push up here. I would expect this correction to come down and tap into these fair value gaps down here. You know, grab the imbalance here and then boom, shoot up. But slipping, but it could still happen. This could be the break here, right? Then it'll come up, retest, right? And then come down. And that retest, it'll be tapping into this here. Now look at the Nasdaq. I mean, it closed above that support there, but it's starting to come down. But no top wick here, so this will be a bottom wick. Take out the lows, and then it'll push up. But this thing starts to creep down, and we got a closure below. We could look for entries here. Yeah, look at that fair value gap right here. We're gonna tap into that and then push down to this level here. Yeah, previous 1 hour closed bullish. How's that 4 hour looking? Okay, the 4 hour already came up and tapped into that trend line there. So we've got a top wick here on the 4 hour. You know, we can reflip and come down. Let's see what happens. It's very choppy here. It's just ranging. Oh snap, what in the world? Wow, look at this. This thing just like shifted my entire. You guys seen this? Alright, let me fix this, gang. Give me a sec. I'll take care of it. My computer's acting crazy. This thing is it's very frustrating. What is happening here? Can't even edit it. Right. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I was trying to get a text up in here and then just move my whole setup here. All right. Yeah, we're starting to move down again here. See how this plays out. Take out the lows here. No, not yet. See if it'll come down. It already came up. The top wick, if it flips, take out the lows, and we could expect to push further down, but it keeps failing to break the lows. 30-minute lows not broken. Still waiting, gang. All right, gang, give me a sec. I gotta take care of something in my house. Be right back. All right, gang, I'm back here to handle some stuff real quick. Oh, we're pulling up here. All right. Still anticipating this FEG here. Tap into that trend line and then curl over. But all right, so we tapped into the fair value gap just now. Let's see if we can get a reversal here. If we do, how much time is left on this? 13 minutes. All right. Wow, it's about to tap us out here. It's close to our stop loss here, but we just tapped into that fair value gap. Let's see if we get that push down. But if we displace here and we invalidate that, then this thing could come up, retest, and then fly up. But it'll probably take us out by then. We're still in it here, gang. Take a look at my trade here. Jose Trades, what's up, my brother? Man, I can't just what is it? I just can't run into your stream. Yeah, I don't stream every night. I used to do it more consistently, but this I got a lot going on in the evenings here with family and stuff, so it's hard to kind of get on stream every night. But I try to get on here, every time I can, and just kind of chop it up and trade with you guys. All right, so we retested here. We're still in the trade, gang. Let's see if we start getting a rejection here right off this trend line here, and then tap into that fair value gap. But we'll see if we stay alive here. Yeah, the way I look at it here, for example, off the 30, we came up, right? And we came back into the range, and now we're tapping into this trend line here and then get pushed down. But if we push up and close above here, then we're probably going to see gold continue to move up. Again, I'm bullish on gold overall, but I was looking to trade this correction down to the support area here that we broke out of. But once we came up and started correcting, once we got in here, this thing just started curling right back up. Because we got in at the break of the lows here, and just didn't get the continuation. We were in profit briefly for about 17 pips or so. Let's see, look at that. We tapped right into the line. Came very close to our stop loss here by a few pips, but we tapped into it there, and now we're pushing down here. So let's see if it'll push all the way down. We get a nice push down. Next candle opens up. It's a top wick, and then we continue to move down. But we'll see. We're still in it, gang. We're still in it. Let me take a look. The Nasdaq is running up here. Oh, wow. Look at that. I was looking at this candle earlier, and we respected that support. Look at that. Boom. Rip. But no top wick on the previous 1 hour here. And the bottom wick took out the highs here, but this thing, you know what? Look at this, gang. Go into the 1 hour here. I want to show you something. Again, I always like to mark these things up because it gives me somewhat of a better view, right? So look at this trend line right here. So we tapped here, right? Came down to support, came up, tapped into that. We broke support, right? We came down, wicked into this fair value gap, and then got pushed up. So, it's possible we might tap into that, but look at the wedge pattern here. So it's starting to get smaller. I think that we break above and continue up to these highs and sweep out these highs, grab that liquidity, and then flip down. Or we're going to just kind of range here, tap in, reject, and so on, and then eventually re-break this level here and come down. But we broke below and came back up, so this thing might be looking to push back up and retest these highs. But let's see. Let's see. Where's gold at? Okay, gold is pushing up a little bit again. Oh snap! It tapped me out. Did it tap me out? Oh no, I'm still in it. Oh, okay. Here, yeah, it's probably off because on my futures, yeah, no, we're still in this trade, gang. This thing did it again. Did it. Yeah, no, hold on. Yeah, I'm still in it. It was just off by like a point or two, but we're still in it, gang. Yeah, over here it tapped here on the thing, but it hasn't taken me out yet here. Okay. That's the thing with future sometimes it's slightly off from the entry, but it still looked like it's gonna tap up here. Let's see. It's respecting this trend line here, but let's see if we'll hold here and remain below. For some reason, it's not letting me adjust the settings. That's a little annoying. Yeah, 15-minute wicked into the line there. Now it's starting to pull back down. Let's see if it'll flip. How much time? 5 minutes? 6 minutes? Nasdaq is wild. Though. Nasdaq is just ripping. But yeah, this breakout here back into the range, and then retest, and then the push up took out the highs. But let's see how it reacts here in this trend line here. Yeah, but it did, like I mentioned before, it tapped into that fair value gap, and then now let's see if we get the push down. Yeah, it's not letting me. Hold on. Oh, but this entry is wrong too. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna adjust this again. We're in at 180. Where is that? I hate doing it like this. It's pulling back down here. I'm just looking at the, yeah, all right, yeah, it missed my, how much did it miss it by? Yeah, I missed it by like 3 pips. Yeah. All right, but that's the rejection we were looking for, right at that trend line, right at the fair value gap. And then let's see if we get the flip down. Let me see, maybe if I delete it and do it again. I don't know why it's doing this. What was it I got in here? 30. 188. Try it now. So, no, it's not. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. All right. All right. Well, we got the rejection, right? Now let's see if we get the follow through. Nasdaq is just wilding tonight. Yeah, look at how it created this fair value gap here with this this big move up, and once it broke out, made that crazy move up, came down and tapped right into it, and then just boom, pushed right back up. Look at that wick right here. Crazy. All right. Wow, look at that rejection, gang. Taps right into it, gets pushed all the way back down. So yeah, that could have been the break back in below the trend line here, then the retest, and then now we get some movement to the downside here. Still trying to fix this thing. Yeah, it won't let me freaking do it. I don't know what it is that I can't adjust it exactly here like I had it earlier, but it's not off by much. It's off by less than a pip. All right, so we got a bearish closure on the 30 with a nice rejection wick there. Uh, let's see now what I would say. We got all these wick rejections here though. But if we get a top wick here and then we flip, take out the previous lows on the 30, then we should get the move down. Yeah, previous 1 hour closed bearish. 4 hour again made that top wick, right? Rejecting. And now hopefully we'll get the move down. There we go. We're getting a top wick first, right? Let's see if we get this top wick up here. Or right around here is good too. And then the flip. break of these 30 lows after making this top would be nice. Just come down, take out the lows, and drive down. There we go. We took out the lows there. Start driving down. I mean, we could have had a better entry on this trade. Let me just go back a little bit. When we were on this candle that closed bullish here, once this candle closed, right? Once we started, we made about a top wick to about maybe about this range right here, more or less, right? And then when we started flipping, we started coming down hard. And once we broke the lows, that's where I hit the sell button. We took the sell at the break of the lows here, and you can see we wicked down. That's when we were in profit about 17 pips, and then we just reflipped, closed bullish. This candle came and was coming down, going up, and then it came and tapped into that fair value gap, which was the original entry. Initially, when this candle closed, I wanted that top wick up here to take the sell from here and then drive it down. But once we broke the lows after making the top wick, I took the entry at the break of the lows, and yeah, we got kind of caught up in this here. But it goes to show that patience, right? Waiting for that entry. I mean, I could have said, look, we don't get that top wick here into that area, we won't take the trade. Or we could have just waited for it to come down and tap into the fair value gaps here and then look for the buys up. But these are the things, you live and you learn. Yeah, Jose. You know, in retrospect, you know, like I said, normally I would wait for that entry, and like I said, I called that entry right before we took the trade, but at the break of the lows off the 1 hour after a pretty decent top wick, you know, it's not a bad idea to get in, because we could have gotten the run down, but yeah, we got caught in some drawdown. Um, it didn't tap in. Hold on. Yeah, it didn't tap into that stop loss there, but we tapped right into the line here, and I had my stop loss originally just into above the previous wick there, which is about halfway up to the fair value gap. We tapped into it, and look at the rejection. Look at the rejection. Yeah, this was the entry right here. That would have been much better, but you know we could still get the drive down here. So let's see what happens. It's getting late. It's already past 11 p.m. Eastern time here. So let's see if we can, you know, come in and I'll look to, you know, to manage my trade personally. But I'm trying to stick around here. But I'll wait this 30-minute candle here with you guys, and let's see the next 20 minutes if we're gonna continue to drive down, and then, you know, either close at break even, or we start driving, then you know we can go break even at that point. So that would be even better. But look at that, we're already almost at profit level here. So ooh, look at that wick right above the entry there. Wow, yeah, look at that, we wicking back up here. You know, this this looks bearish to me, gang. You can see it come down, retest, right, and then the push down. But it's gonna, excuse me, it's gonna dance around there. It's gonna dance around. Let me get rid of this. I had that marked up earlier, but yeah, just wait on the gang. Let's see. Yeah, let me look at the 15 real quick. Yes, 15 had this support that it formed in, and look at, we tapped right into it, right into our entry that will break even briefly. Then now it's popping back up. So we got an FEG here on the 5 minute. Like I said, you know, we come down, might come back up, tap into that fair value gap there, making that lower high there, and then just continue to drop down. But this support right here, see it right here, support here. We tap right into it just now, and now we're bouncing off. So you know, but once we break through our entry there, we should continue to drive down. It looks somewhat bearish to me from here. I'll wait on it, gang. Patience. All right, we got about 15 minutes, gang. 15 minutes. See if we get that push. We're approaching our break-even entry. We're only down about 3 or 4 pips here. Right up just above our entry there. For those that want to go to sleep, you know, you know, not willing to keep holding here, this is a good time to get out. It's right around break even. Only 5 pips in drawdown here. I'm getting a little tired myself personally, but I'll hold off here. Coming down now. Come on, Goldie. Give us that push. There we go. Come on, a little bit more. Yeah, we're right at break even here, gang. Still waiting on. See if I can close in the blue if anything. But I feel like we're gonna get that push down. Look at this rejecting there. All right, 10 minutes, gang. Yeah, now we're at BE. There we go. All right, so we're at break even now. We're in profit now, gang. All right, I'm gonna wait to see how this 30-minute candle is gonna close. For those holding, we're right around break even here. We were slightly in about 2-3 pips in profit just now. I'm gonna wait out to see how this candle is gonna close, but I'm gonna make a decision on whether I'm gonna personally close my trade or see. But I'll wait for this 30-minute closure here. Yeah. Yeah, at this point, for me, 11:20 p.m. It's just, I usually don't like holding these trades. We get in. This thing should have, once it broke the lows. I was expecting a stronger push down, go break even, come down here and grab 30, 35 pips. You know what I mean? But that very well might still happen. I really feel that this thing is going to continue to drive down. But it's up to you guys if you want to continue to hold here. I want to see if we get a stronger push down. We're already closing below this support here, it looks like, but there's still 8 minutes left. So we come kind of wake back up and close above this area. Matter of fact, let me mark that up. If that happens, yeah, I'm definitely closing right there. So yeah, we want to remain below this line here. The next candle, this candle closes bearish like this, similar. But what happened next, wait for somewhat of a top wick to kind of tap into the that resistance there, and then continue to drive down, right? But if we start pulling up and close back above, then I'm probably gonna close with it's not that much. Yeah, that's only what was that? Oh, that's 16 pips. Yeah. Yeah, I'll wait on it. Let's see. Yeah, but we got that beautiful move down, man. But this was the entry, gang. I admit that was the entry, as opposed to the break of the lows here. We should have exercised more patience, or I should have exercised more patience and wait for that retracement to get that entry from the top here. But we're in profit now, gang. What's that? Yeah, we're in profit about 4 pips. Yeah. All right. Again, those who are in it want to get out, break even. This is the time to do it. I'm just gonna wait these 6 minutes because regardless, I personally don't mind about it as long as I'm closing my trade below this support here. I just want to see if we get that stronger push the next few minutes, but I'll let you guys know exactly what I'm gonna do once this candle prints. I want to see how this candle is gonna close here. Yeah, we're running in profit right now, so that's good. There we go. Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. If we're gonna start pushing down here, and come into these areas here, because initially I was gonna, go break even, look for partials right around this area, this fair value gap here, and then hold a runner potentially to fill the range. Very well might still happen here, but 5 minutes, a lot of time. This thing can still flip up. Or if we close with no bottom wick, I'll close the trade instantly there. But yeah, we're running about 11 pips here. Yeah, yeah, about 13 pips here. 13 pips in profit. at this. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. Yeah. There you go. I want to see a bottom wick here. We got 4 minutes. What did Nasdaq do? This thing probably, oh, just coming back down. Yeah, it never made it up to that to retest, but you see it pulled down but failed to break the previous lows here, and now we're flipping up. So I think a test of this trend line here, and then we might get the bounce down. But you know, again, I'm surprised at the volume we got. Oh shit! I'm surprised at the amount of volume we got. So in the London, in the Asia session, usually very slow for indices. But yeah, there's some movement there. Probably some news, probably something regarding tariffs probably popped out. I'm not even sure. Yeah, if it closes like this, that's a beautiful closure here. Strong bullish candle, rejection off the trend line. Top wick next candle, right? As long as we remain below, I would say this yellow line right here, and just make a top wick and then flip and continue to move down. That would be great. But if we start pulling up here, then I'll figure out what I'm gonna do. I'll make some adjustments for myself. I'll show you exactly what I'm gonna do, and and call it a night there, so you guys can manage your trade if you're gonna be in it. But if you are in it, and you're tired as well, and you want to go to sleep or whatever the case is, you can close right now. Look at this. We're still in profit here, and we were in profit about 14, 15 pips just now. So for those who want to close, you can do it right now. Get rid of this here. Again, a closure below this minor support here is good for me. To expect at least a little bit more of a push down. But I'll show you what I'm gonna do if we close below. Look at the 1 hour. Click the lows. Yeah, it cracked these lows right here that it made previously, and it started pulling up here. Yeah, you see it here, barely, but yeah, it still broke the lows there. All right, 35 seconds here. Yeah, it looks like we're gonna close below that. So this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna move my stops right above the current 30-minute high, right? This current 30 that's about to close. My stop is gonna be just above it then. I just lowered my risk by what do we have? I cut it by 22 pips. So I cut my risk by 22 pips here, and 5 seconds, and we will be closing there. Let's see. And I'm gonna close full right at the FEG right there. So now, like I tell you, we're gonna come up, make a top wick. If we start coming down, once it taps into that FEG, it should take me out a profit about, yeah, that's about 30. I'm sorry, 40 pips. That's a 40 pip drop there. And yeah. So if you guys need to look at this real quick before I hop off, that's my move. Stops are just above the previous 30-minute wick, right? Right around what's that price? 33.36, right? So 33.36, and TP is now for me about 30. Damn, what is that? Oh, 33.27, 26. What is that? Yeah, 33.27.4.48.50. Let's just round it to .50 there for you guys. Yeah, so that's my move there. I'll let this play out. You know, we start ranging, goes back up. You know, I'm willing to take that risk. It's a small risk. It's about 50 pips here. The RR is not as even, but it's a technical stop loss, so I want to have it just above the previous 30 right there. So that's the trade for me right there. I'm holding it there. All right, gang. With that said, you know, for those that are still holding, as you can see, look at the trade right here. It's at break even. It's right at, it's just like 1 pip and draw down there. Actually, now we're in profit. Anyway, yeah, for those who don't want to hold on to it, it's time to close, right? You're at break even. It's a good time to get out now. But if you're gonna hold, that's how I'm holding this trade. I'm just gonna let it run overnight, you know. And yeah, this just got too extended, and you know, it's not moving. No volume. Volume will probably kick in during London though, so let's see how it plays out, right? So I'm willing to risk that much, cut the risk by 22 pips, and then now move the TP up also to 40 pips. I just want to get this drop, boom, take that profit, and call it a night. All right, gang. So yeah, that'll be all tonight. I'm about to hop off here, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in, for hanging out. For the New York, for my platform members, we'll be trading the New York session tomorrow. Shout out to Jose Trades, Danny, Shorty, Tony, all of you guys that have been very supportive of this channel. And I appreciate you guys coming in, tuning in, and you know, just joining me, making some profits here. Hopefully in this case, but yeah, we're running in profits right now. All right, gang. Everybody have a beautiful, blessed night. Once again, thank you, and God bless, and everybody have a good night. All right, I'll see you next time. Peace out.
De amor eterno, tú cuando hablo, tú cuando sueño.